Hey guys, I'm John Setzler. Welcome back to the Kamado Joe cooking channel. Today we're going to fire up the Kamado Joe Classic and we're going to cook a one-dish meal that's going to be roasted chicken and vegetables. So let's get started. Okay, I've built a fire in the firebox of the Kamado Joe Classic here, and I've let it burn for about 10 minutes or so with the lid open, and I've got my divide and conquer flexible cooking rack in place with the accessory rack in the low position. And we're going to set up today for indirect cooking. I'm going to set both halves of the heat deflector on the accessory rack to get it elevated just a little bit, since we're going to be cooking at a little warmer temperature today. We're going to set up to cook at 425 degrees. In order to get set up to cook at 425, I'm just going to leave the bottom vent fully open, and I'm going to close the slider on the top vent to about the 3rd mark and let this thing come up to temp. And when it starts to get close, I'm going to close it down a little more to stabilize here at 425. We're going to get started here on this dish in a large mixing bowl. I've got 2 pounds of red potatoes that I've basically cut into 1/8. I've got 1 large yellow onion that I've coarsely chopped. And to that, I'm going to sprinkle over 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1/2 of a teaspoon of black pepper, 1/2 of a teaspoon of dried rosemary, and I've got 3 cloves of freshly minced garlic, and we've got 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. And we're going to get all that in the mixing bowl, and we're just going to toss that to get all that completely coated with those seasonings and that oil. And now we're going to put together a little seasoning to go on our chicken, and we're going to start that out with 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, 1/2 teaspoon of that dried rosemary, and then about 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper. And I'm just going to mix that together real well here, and then we're going to put this together. Now I'm going to take the Kamado Joe deep dish pan here that we have, and I'm going to dump the potatoes and onion mixture into that, and I'm going to spread it out evenly. And then I'm going to take our chicken thighs. I've got bone-in chicken thighs that I have removed the skin from. We're going to put these around this dish. And then I'm going to take some of the seasoning blend that we just put together, and we're going to sprinkle it on top of this chicken. And I'm going to use all of that. I'm not going to leave any behind. So we'll get that all on here, and then we'll take this to the grill. Okay, our Kamado Joe Classic's rolling along right at 425 degrees here. So we're going to open this up. We're going to put this guy right in the middle here. We're going to close the lid, and we're going to let this cook until these chicken breasts get to an internal temperature of about 165, and then we'll be back. Alright, we've been going here about 35 minutes, and I just checked this chicken, and the temperature on the chicken's looking good. So the next step we're going to do, we're going to take the chicken off and set it aside for just a few minutes. And then we're going to toss in some baby spinach. We're just going to kind of coat the top of that with some baby spinach, and we're going to close the lid and let that cook for about 8 to 10 more minutes. After that's had another 10 minutes or so on the grill and given that spinach time to wilt, we're going to get in here and kind of stir that in. And then we're going to put our chicken back on and give that another 5 minutes. Okay, I've pulled this off the grill, brought it inside, and we're going to let that sit uncovered and let that cool for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to have a taste. Okay guys, we're going to give this a taste. I'm going to start first with the onions and potato. Beautiful. The rosemary really comes through nicely, and the salt and everything that we've put in there has a beautiful flavor. So let's get a little taste of some of this chicken. That's perfect. Guys, you've got to give this a try. It's a perfectly easy meal to cook. It'll feed 6 people or prep 6 meals for you down the road, and it's healthy on top of that. So give this a try. Let me know what you think. Join us on Facebook, facebook.com/Kamado Joe. Follow us on Twitter @Kamado Joe. And until next time, I'm John Setzler with Kamado Joe Cooking Channel.